Welcome to the Rise of the Trades podcast, the show dedicated to helping you to build, grow, and scale your trades or construction business. All rise for your host, Craig Wilkinson.
Welcome to the Rise of the Trades podcast, where the goal of this show is to help tradesmen and women such as plumbers, electricians, building contractors to scale a profitable business that creates a better quality of life for you and your family. All without you having to work 60 plus hours a week and becoming that classic busy fool. So in this episode, I'm going to be sharing with you 3 critical stages of business growth that you will go through, and I guarantee you'll be in one of these 3 stages right now. And the ultimate business is getting to stage number 3, because when we get to stage 3, we've absolutely nailed it. What you're going to find as this episode unfolds, if you're stuck in stage number 2, then we've got problems. Because if you're in stage number 2, you're going to struggle making profit, you're going to struggle getting your time back, and you're certainly going to struggle to scale your business. Now, before we go there, if you're new to this podcast, what I'd encourage you and suggest that you do is head back to episode number 1. Because in episode number 1, I share with you the introduction to why I set up this podcast, what's the purpose, who's it for, and what are the benefits going to be to you and your business. I also share with you my own background story, from a humble, busy fool carpenter and joiner to building, growing, scaling, selling my construction company, winning awards like Yorkshire's Businessman of the Year, standing on over 500 different stages and helping over 30,000 business owners to grow the business. So I'd love you to go back and listen to that episode if you've not listened to it, because that'll give you more of an indication and a background of what this podcast is, what it's all about, and how you're going to benefit from it. I've been in business now for 31 years. And during that 31 years, I've come to realise that in actual fact, we go through 3 different stages of business growth. And right now, for sure, you will be in one of these 3 stages. Now, what I'd love you to do is get to the end of this episode and have an honest conversation with yourself and ask yourself, which one of the 3 stages are you currently in? Because as you're going to find out, if you're stuck in stage number 2, you're really going to struggle to increase your profits, get your time back, and scale your business. At all costs, we have got to avoid stage 2. However, I'm having a guess here that the vast majority of trades business owners that are listening to this podcast right now, if you've been established for more than 2 years and you've got staff, I'm guessing that you are either working towards stage 2 and you don't even realise it, or even worse, you're knee deep in it. And we've got to get you out of stage 2 and get you into stage 3 as quick as we can. So let me explain what these 3 stages are, and then you evaluate where you're at and be honest with yourself and let me know where you're at in each one of these 3 stages. Okay, let's get stuck in. So stage number 1 is what I call survival stage. Write it down, make a note, survival stage. So let me explain what this stage is. This stage is where if you've set up your business, you have been in survival stage. And that means you've set up your business and your main focus, the only thing at that moment in time when you've set up your new business, the only thing you're concerned about is surviving. Surviving. Because let's face it, you've set up your business for whatever reason. Maybe you were forced into it, maybe your old boss shut his company and you thought it's now my time to set up my own business and fulfill my destiny and go and achieve my dreams. But for whatever reason, you've set up a business. And I mean, come on, how difficult is it setting up and starting your own business? This is what you say to yourself, and you'll look at your friends or mates that have got their own businesses, and you look at what they're posting on social media and it all looks absolutely amazing and they're all flying, or that's what they want you to believe. And you think, this can't be hard. I'm going to set up my own business. It's my time. So you sit down with your friends, with your family, with your loved ones, and you start weighing up all these pros and cons. Shall I do it or shan't I do it? And then something happens. You get your big boy or big girl's pants on you make that decision, right, let's do it. And as soon as you've made that decision, it's scary, it's daunting, you get riddled with fear, it's the unknown of what lies ahead with you. But behind all that fear and behind all that uncertainty and that overwhelming feeling is a sense of achievement. Nothing is going to stop me from getting to where I want to be. I'm going to make this business a success. This business is going to make me and my family a lot of money. I'm going to be loaded. This business is going to pay me all this money to allow me to go out and buy this and have my goals and my dreams. And all this is what we go through when we first set up our business. Now, we then start to think of business names, and this is where classic mistakes start to creep in. Because right now, you've got no experience of running a business, growing a business, scaling a business. The only experience you've got in survival stage is you're good at your job. If you're a Sparky, you're good at fitting consumer units and rewires. If you're an heating engineer, you're good at servicing boilers and fitting ideal or Baxi boilers, right? You can do the job inside out, but nobody ever taught you how to build, grow and scale a successful business that's going to take care of you and your family for the rest of your life. You've got no idea what awaits you. So we start to come up with business names that further down the line aren't really right because the vision and the way in which your business is moving, there's a disconnect between your name, or you've gone down the ego trip route like I did and set up Craig Wilkinson Joiner and Builder, and I brought my name into it or my kids' names into it, and all them classic mistakes that a lot of people are making around branding. We've got no idea about marketing. So we think, all we need to do is get some business cards printed, go to odd networking event, write loads of posts on Facebook and Instagram, and I'll have loads of leads coming in. No. That doesn't work. We don't know about systemizing our business and putting the right systems in place. We don't know about how to price jobs, how to quote jobs. We don't know about overhead contribution. We don't know about gross profit. We don't know about net profit. We just work for 300 quid a day. And we think we're going to become millionaires. We've got absolutely no idea how to find and build a team. But we know people in industry, so I can call on my mate John, who's a subby, and I can get him in as and when I get over busy. All these things start to go through his minds. And what we do is we set up this business, we go at it 100 mile an hour, and all we're concerned about at this stage is surviving. If I can bring enough work in to cover my wages that I were getting from my previous employer, and I can survive and pay my mortgage, and I can survive and put food on my table, and I can survive and put clothes on my kid's back, if I can do all that to start off with, I'm happy. And that's exactly what we start thinking when we set up our business. And that is why I call it survival stage. And unfortunately, A lot of businesses within the first 2 or 3 years have wound up and stopped and gone to the wall. And that's purely because they didn't understand how to build and grow a successful business. They understood how to fit a consumer unit. They could do it in their sleep. They understood how to fit that boiler. They could do it in their sleep. But building and growing a business, now that's a complete and utter new skill. Now, while we're in survival stage, something starts to happen. And that is, after a year or 2 years, our reputation starts to spread. And word of mouth starts to get out there. And maybe these posts on Facebook start to generate leads. Maybe we've invested now into a website and we're starting to generate leads to our website. And something starts to happen. And what starts to happen is the transition to stage number 2 that we have got to avoid at all costs. But you don't realise that this is what's happening because you don't know these 3 stages. You just think, hang on a minute, I've survived and now I'm getting loads of leads coming in. And now it's got to a point where I can't cope with all these leads that are coming in and the work that I've priced I've won. So therefore, I'm growing my business. Therefore, I've got too much work for me. I need somebody else. So what do we go and do? We go and bring on an apprentice, or we bring in another tradesperson or engineer or fitter. We bring them into our business. And we think we're growing as business because we've got more work than we can shake a stick at, and now we've got somebody else working for us. And at that stage where you start to go from 1 person to 2, where you've got too much work for you and you know that you've got to bring somebody else in, you think you're growing your business, but in reality, the transition is you're moving into stage number 2, and that stage is called busy fool stage. And you're unaware and totally oblivious that this is happening. And the reason why is you're all giddy and excited because you've survived them early years. The work's coming in, so you think you're growing, but in reality, you're not growing your business. You're moving into stage 2 and becoming, or about to become, that busy fool. Let me explain. When you take your first employee or subcontractor on and you start doing multiple jobs, you automatically think that the more jobs I've got, the more staff I've got, the more vans I've got, the more profit I'm going to make, the bigger my business will become. And I can't begin to explain to you now how that is not the case. That is not the case for 99% of businesses that are moving into stage 2. Because what happens here is you've all of a sudden got 2 or maybe 3 members of staff or 3 fitters that you've now got to keep busy. So now you're under pressure. And to keep busy, here's what generally happens. You start to take on jobs and work that you shouldn't be taking on because you need to be busy. And these jobs are not making you profit, or they're causing you grief. You also start to increase the amount of time that you are working in your business, because now all of a sudden you've got twice or 3 times as many jobs to go and look at and survey, probably at evenings or weekends. You've got 3 times as many jobs to quote. You've got 3 times as many quotes to send out. You've got 3 times as many customers to deal with. You've got 3 times as many jobs to organise. You've got 3 times as many jobs to order materials for. You've got 3 times as many jobs to organise labour for. You've got 3 times as many jobs to send invoices out for. You've got 3 times as many jobs to bank reconciliation them invoices. So by you thinking, the more labour I have, the more jobs I have, the more vans I have, the more profit I'll make, you couldn't be further from truth. Because your overheads now are starting to increase and you're starting to cripple your business. And if you do not understand the numbers in your business, then how the hell do you know that you're making more profit with 3 people than you were with 2? Or 3 people than you were when you were on your own? And let's not forget and factor in all that increased working hours and time that you are now spending. That's got to be paid for. You can't work for free. You wouldn't go and work for free for other people. So why are you working for free for yourself? So all of a sudden now, your business on face of it is growing, but your profit margins have shrunk. Your stress levels are going through the roof. And the amount of hours you're working is leading you to become that busy fool. So we've got to avoid at all costs of moving into busy fool stage without actually knowing you've done it. Because here's the thing. When you are stuck in busy fool stage, it's really, really difficult to get out. Because to try and get out of that, you've got to start doing a lot of work on improving your business. But the objection is, I don't have time because I'm working 6 days a week, 7 days a week. I'm getting up and I'm starting my invoicing at 6 o'clock in the morning, doing a couple of hours admin, going on tools during the day, looking at jobs at night, tea time, and then I'm staying up till midnight, doing all my quotes and my pricing and my invoicing. I now can't go and watch my son play football on a Sunday morning. I can't go and watch my daughter at gymnastics. I can't go on holiday for 2 weeks. I certainly can't go abroad for 2 weeks and leave my team and my staff, because if I did, while I'm walking around pool, I'm dealing with emails, I'm dealing with text messages, I'm dealing with WhatsApp messages, I'm on phone. I'm supposed to be on holiday. I can't even go on holiday for 2 weeks. I can't even leave my phone at home for 2 weeks. If this is sounding like you've moved into busy fool territory. And now, with you working all these hours, thinking you're growing your business and you're not earning any more money than what you're paying your subbies, really, all of a sudden now it's, how do I get out? What do I need to do to get out? And that's exactly what this podcast is all about. It's about giving you the knowledge and information to, one, bypass stage 2, or at least if you fell into it, you've got to get out of it. Because here's the sad reality of being in stage 2. It becomes a bad habit. And I know this because I spent 13 long, hard fucking years in stage number 2 thinking, hang on a minute, running a business is supposed to be hard, isn't it? Running a business, you've got to work 60, 70, 80 hours a week. Running a business, you're going to have cash flow problems. Running a business, you are going to get your team pissing your customers off. Running a business, we are going to employ the wrong team that cock up on a job that costs us time and money. Running a business is about paying $3,000 for a website that doesn't generate you any leads and you've wasted your money. No, that's not what running a business is. That's what a busy fool running a business is. The definition of a business is a profitable enterprise that runs without you. And in reality, what I'd done for 13 years, I'd brainwashed myself into thinking, well, I have to start at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning dealing with emails. I've got to look at jobs at evenings and weekends. I've got to stay up till midnight doing my pricing, because that's what you do. No, it's not. That's what busy fools do who don't know how to build and grow and scale businesses. So you might be sat there thinking, Craig, fucking hell, that's a bit harsh, innit? And blah, but listen, it's the reality. That is where we are. And if you've crept into stage 2, you've got to get the hell out of it. Because the longer you stay in it, the harder it is to get out. The longer you stay in it, the more bad habits you pick up. And then you condition yourself and become used to working like that. Now, I don't know about you, but when I got out of that and moved to stage 3, which I'll come on to, I look back and I think, what the hell were I doing? I were earning more money, me, when I had 3 or 4 lads and a couple of vans doing a couple of jobs than I did do when I had my big officers, 17 members of staff, multiple vans all over the show. I were earning more money when I was smaller. But I didn't know that. I just thought, work keeps coming in, take more trades on, move into bigger offices, get more vans, look at me, Billy Big Balls, all these vans, all this work, that were great. But underneath it all, I weren't making any money and I were working ridiculous hours. Now that has got prisoner and slave written all over it because that's what I'd become. I'd become a prisoner in my own business. I wasn't in control of my own time. My business was. I wasn't in charge of my own finances. My business dictated that for me. I wasn't in charge of my own relationships with my employees and my customers. My business ran that. So I'd lost all control being a busy fool. And at some stage, if you are in stage 1, survival stage, you've got to be listening to what I'm saying here. And you don't want to be going anywhere near stage number 2 until you get to the end of this podcast and I share with you what you need to implement to avoid stage 2. If you're in stage 2 now and you're being honest about it and you're going, do you know what, Craig, as much as it hurts me and as much as I want to disagree with you, you're actually right. Right, let's get to work on getting you out of stage 2 and over to stage 3. So, what is stage 3, Craig? Well, stage 3 is where I am now and where I've been for the last 13 years. And stage 3, write this down, is where we all need to be working towards all the plans, all the vision, all the goals, all the numbers, all the marketing. Everything we do has got to be gearing us up for stage 3, which is freedom stage. Let me say it again. Freedom stage. And what I mean by freedom stage is where your business is giving you financial and time freedom to choose what you want to do with your time and with your money. And I run currently 4 businesses, and on average, I work 2.5 to 3 days a week in 4 businesses. Why? Because I've built every one of those businesses to bypass stage 2 and move straight to stage 3. You see, I've earned my stripes of working my bollocks off as a busy fool for too many years. And never ever will I set up a business knowing that I'm going to get stuck in stage 2. I set up a business, I put the business plan and the strategy in place of how to get straight to stage number 3, freedom stage. I put everything in place before I start growing and scaling, so that everything's in place. All I need to do then is turn that marketing tap on, let the leads come in, and then the business is going to take care of the running of the business, and the team that I bring in is going to take care of running the actual systems in my businesses. That is how I free up my time and make money, so I've got the choice of where I spend my time and spend my money. So stage 3, freedom stage, is where you can get up on a Monday morning and say, right, this is what I'm doing this week, or this is what I've chosen to put into my diary this week, or this is what I've scheduled for the next month. But included in that is all the me time that you need, all the time for you. I mean, come on, everybody's stuck in stage 2. You've more than likely packed up doing all your hobbies. I'm sure some of you had hobbies before you started a business. Where are they now? I'm sure some of you probably invested more into your health, well-being, personal development, exercise and gym. I bet most of you did that before you set your own business up. But now you're in stage 2, busy full, you don't get time to do any of that. So everything's been reversed. You know, you set up this business ideally to give you stage 3, but you never reach it because you can't get out of stage number 2. So here's what I want you to consider, and here's how you're going to work towards getting to stage number 3. The first thing that you've got to do is you've got to create a 12-month, not 5-year, not 10-year, a 12-month vision of what you want your business to look like in 12 months' time. So a year from today, when you're listening to this episode, what does your business want to look like in the following areas? Write these down. Number 1, your mindset and personal development. In other words, how are you going to be spending the time working and growing you before you can work and grow your business? Number 2, time management. So if I'm sat here now in 12 months' time, what does your time management look like? In other words, how many hours a week are you working? How are you prioritizing jobs? Are you more efficient? Are you more productive? How are you going to get them working hours down? Write that down. Number 3, marketing strategy. In 12 months' time, what type of leads do you want to be attracting? What type of customers do you want to attract to your business? How are you going to attract them? What content do you need to create to start attracting pre-sold, ready-to-buy customers, not time wasters and not tire kickers? 4, cash and finance. If I'm sat here now in 12 months' time with you, I'd expect you to tell me what your turnover is, what your gross profit margins are, what your net profit margins are. I'd be expecting you to say that I've got 4 bank accounts set up, Craig. 1 is my current account. 2 is where my VAT gets put in. 3 is where my tax money for your self-assessment corporation tax. 4, this is where my savings account is. You need to start splitting your money up so all your money's not going into one account. How do you know if all your money's going into one account? What's yours? What's your suppliers? What's wages? What's tax? What's that? You don't. Number 5, systems and procedures. I want you to sit down and think, right, in 12 months' time, for me to be able to systemize my business, I'm going to need some software, I'm going to need some apps, I'm going to need some online tools to do it. So go and check out Leadzilla, which is one of them. Go and check out ServiceMate, which is another piece of software that'll help systemize your business. Go and check out Commusoft. Go and check out Tradify. These are all software systems specifically designed for trades that will help you systemize and automate your business. Number 6, your team. If I'm sat here now with you in 12 months' time and you've got a current team now, let's not beat around the bush. Who are the bad apples? Who are the people in your team, employed or subcontractors, that deep down you know they've not got your back, they're in it for themselves, they don't care about you, they don't care about the business, they're a problem, they're poison in your business, they are influencing other people, their workmanship, their standard of work's not right, their time management is poor, they're knocking on jobs on a Monday morning because they're pissed up on a Sunday night. You know, who are the team that you need to move on? But at the same time, who are the team that you're going to be bringing in? Maybe you do need a couple of apprentices. Maybe you do need another joiner, brickie, plumber, sparky, plasterer. Maybe you need a part-time VA to answer the phone and deal with emails and quotes and proposals. Maybe you need a part-time marketing person to look after your website, you're editing your videos, doing your reels, your blogs, your vlogs, your social media. Who's coming in? Get clarity on that vision. So they're the 6 areas that I want you to sit down and ask yourself, in 12 months' time, what does all that look like? And then what I want you to do is I want you to start to work on one of those 6 areas now. Go and work on one of those 6 areas now, getting the knowledge that you need to implement the systems, the strategies, the tools into your business to solve that one area. And if we say, well, hang on a minute, if we work on one area for 2 months and get that nailed, then we work on the next area for 2 months and get that nailed, then the next one for 2 months, the next one, over 12 months' time, which is what it's going to take you as a bare minimum to get out of stage 2, over that 12 months, I've got a great chance of being able to get out of the pickle that I'm in. But the only way you're going to do it is if you ask yourself, where do I want to be in 12 months? What am I going to be doing in mindset, personal development? What am I going to be doing with my time management? What am I going to be doing with my marketing strategy? What am I going to be doing with cash and finance? What am I going to be doing with systems? What am I going to be doing with team? Because that's the backbone of every single business. You've got to get to work on working on your business in those areas to climb out of being in stage number 2. So they're the 3 stages. That's what I'm suggesting that you do to either 1, bypass stage 2 completely. So if you're in survival stage, do not even go anywhere near busy full stage. Go and do what I've just said. Get them 6 areas nailed down over a 12-month vision and start working on those 6 areas whilst you're a small business. Put them in place now and you'll bypass stage 2. If you're in stage 2, you've got to do the exact same, but you're going to find it more difficult because the likelihood is you're working long hours, you might have got a poor team, your cash flow's all over the place, so you might have been losing money. You've got to sort all that lot out and get that vision done over that next 12 months. But like everything that I teach, if you are motivated to do it and you've got the goal and you've got the why and you know what the purpose is, then you'll get off your backsides and you'll go away and you'll implement what I'm sharing with you right now. So I would love to hear what stage you're in. I've been open and I've told you, listen, I spent too much time, almost half of my 31 years of being in business was spent in busy full. And there's no shame in it. It's just, I didn't know. You don't know what you don't know. So what I'd love to know is what stage are you in, right? So if you're listening to this podcast now, drop us an email at support@tradesfreedomclub.com. Or if you're following us on our social channels, such as Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, it's at Trades Freedom Club, and tell us that you've listened to this episode and that you're in this particular stage, but this is what you're going to do to get out of it. And if I can help you any more and give you any free resources or tools or anything else that I can give you to help you bypass stage 2 or climb out of it, then I'll gladly give you whatever help and support I can. But I can only do that if you let me know where you are at. So, in wrapping up on this episode, I want to say a massive thank you for joining me. I hope you've got some value from this episode. And what I would love you to do before you leave is whatever channel or platform you're listening to this episode on, I would really appreciate it if you could do 2 tiny little things for me. Number 1 is hit the follow or subscribe button so you never miss another one of these podcast episodes. That's the first thing. The second thing is I would love you to hit the share button on whatever platform you're on now and share this episode onto your social platforms so that we can help more people find our podcast and help more people behind the scenes. But to do that, I need your help to share the knowledge, the love, the community and everything we've built at Trades Freedom Club. I need your help to share it. So if you can either copy this link and share it onto your platforms, or if there's a share button, smash that share button, please share it, and let's help more people in the industry and trades that we all love and working day in, day out. So thank you so much for tuning in. I'd love you to tune into episode number 3, because in episode number 3, we are going to be talking about the customer journey and starting off with establishing and helping you to create your attract marketing strategy. So I'll see you over on episode 3. Thank you.